Let's go, Kirk Franklin. Woo! Yeah. I like watching a bunch of people who love late-term abortion and trans people worshiping gospel music. Guy can't think. I love it. Yeah. All right. Woo! There goes YouTube. Gonna copyright me. What's up, guys? How we doing tonight? Angie, you're at a Blink-182 concert and you're on here? What is going on? What is it? That's wildness. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go watch your concert. I'll be here when you leave. Blink-182. I can't believe they're still around, man. They were playing when I was in like middle school. Troy Man first tonight. Whitey's here. What's going on? Brian, thanks for the early show. You are welcome, my sir. He's so hip. I look like Jesus. Oh my gosh. Adventures with Shogun. You don't even know. Back when I was in church for years, working in the church, doing stuff, and I did like 4 plays, and I always got cast as Jesus over and over again. I used to joke I was typecast. That's funny. It's funny you say that, but listen, that's I'm not taking too much from that. Patrice is here. Frankie, Soljo. I still haven't talked to him. Sorry, Soljo. Justin, get the slow clap going. Yeah. I like it. Donkey's here. Not swapping VP, swapping himself. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. What's up, Richie Rich? Finger heating up. Yep. There's good stuff going on. What's up, Drew? Greetings, Earthlings. Hobbs. McLovin, Steve, I'm early. Yeah, listen, I'm so glad I could come on a little earlier. It's nice for me too, because now I might get to bed at a decent time. But it's good. My life is crazy. I wish I could just schedule a time and stick with it every night, but that's probably not going to happen for a long time. But at least I'm consistent, showing up most nights, and sometimes it's fun to mix it up. 311. Oh my God, they're still around too. Are these bands still good? Vince is Honey Badger. All right, Angie, have a good one. I don't know why you'd try to listen to me while you're at a concert. That's hilarious. Biden's made of wax. I mean, look at that face. He's so happy. He's so happy. NC in the house. What is going on? What's up on site? All right, guys, listen, today I'm 1 day away from starting vacation. So I started early tonight. Found a nice amber beer, enjoying it, milking it. And we're just going to talk tonight. I'm going to go through the news. Got lots of stuff to go through. Man, oh man, this economy is just, what a joke. What an absolute joke. So go through that. I'm going to talk a little of what I'm hearing might happen with the swapperoonies with some political people, and that could be interesting. And then, of course, I'll talk whatever I got on all the stock stuff. GameStop, DJT, Finger, GTII. I got a little bit on, I think, all of them. So we'll cover it tonight. So there you go. There you go. Now you know what to expect. Vanilla Ice is in your city tonight? No. And Bush is tomorrow. Oh, my God. Welcome back, 1994. Wow. North Dallas, what's up, Raiden? Chad C is here. Good evening, Donna. 311's good every time. I love 311's old stuff, but sometimes those bands just get to a point where they don't make any more good songs. I haven't listened to 311, anything new from them since 2001, 2002? No, 2003 was the last song I really liked of theirs. Beautiful Disaster. Yeah, that was a great song. That was the last good song I remember from them, but I haven't tried. I don't know. To me, all that alternative 90s rock just kind of died out around 2005 and made me very sad. But I'm old now. I just stick with the old stuff. What's up, KJB? Ralph Fan? Vanilla Ice, though. Can't believe that guy's still touring. I wish I could have a one-hit wonder song and just live off it forever. That'd be awesome. That would be killing it. But, you know. Anyways, all right, let's get started here. So let's start with GTII here. Check it out. GTII is all of a sudden just providing stuff to shareholders back and forth. I mean, re-audit now. Because the other auditor they had was a joke. They hooked up with the corrupt peeps, and now they're going to do it over again. So I don't know what to make of this. I don't care. None of this matters to me until we get rid of management. But I thought I'd share it just because it's out there. And, you know, interesting. By the way, GTI today just down again. After that little bump we had to hit on almost 12 a few days ago, it just kind of stagnated. Fingers having some love lately after bottoming out. A lot of people thought it was going down to 2. It has completely broken that trend and gone back up, which is great. GameStop had a nice little day today. Not too fancy, but it is what it is. DJT, though, getting crushed because that warrant. Shorts are taking advantage. So I'm looking at DJT to bottom out here soon and hopefully can scoop some up at a low, because I think it's going to really turn around fast. That tends to be the DJT trend, get crushed and then pop right back up, hitting sometimes new highs. Finger after hours, after hours is kind of just boring today. But futures, kind of a big nothing burger. Today's stock market, Dow just went absolutely bonkers. It's really interesting how the Dow has seemed to break trend from S&P and NASDAQ lately, because the last few days before this, I mean, S&P and NASDAQ kept going up and Dow was either red or kind of flat. Now look at this. And also what's interesting is the VIX was up 8% today. So a little fear in the markets. Not sure what I make of that yet, but I'll be paying close attention, obviously. Alan, surprised he can hold his dentures singing that smile. Well, if he's made of wax. Corey, Kabisi Report believes we have all-time highs coming. Doesn't sound like they believe in a crash. That's fine. You know, I mean, nobody believes in a crash. Well, that's not true. Okay. Most people don't believe in a crash until it happens. Most people. Not everybody. There are people who see it. And there's some people who are always bears, always saying it's going to crash. And they might be going 5, 10, 15 years they've been calling for it. Doesn't happen. I think of Harry Dent is one of those guys. And he's a smart dude, but he's been calling for stuff for a long time. But, you know, the truth is the market fluctuates, changes. But one of the trends we know, I just watched a little mini documentary on it today. In 1929, before the Great Depression, the major stock market crash of 29, leading to the Great Depression, there was everybody was like feeling themselves on stock market. There was no fear at all. And in 2008, same thing. So, you know, just because a lot of the Wall Street guys, see, Wall Street, as Ham always says, is a small place, and they all just talk to each other. So they're not getting outsider perspectives. And so they perpetuate their own reality until something smacks them in the face. And that's pretty normal. Make a music video, Blue 5. Hey, you guys don't want to hear me sing. He sings, baby. No, I had a good video on GTI. Nice. Yeah, he's been doing great stuff. Do some AI magic. Market has been crashed since January 1st. What? What do you mean by that? Corey, believe in Trump. He's continued to say over the past 3.5 years before the end of his administration, market will crash like we've never seen. Has he said likes of which we've never seen? I know he said that Biden would get in and the stock market would crash, but he also, you know, Trump, and I love the guy, but he also he kind of said that it crashed in 2022 when we had that big downturn when the Dow went down to 27, was it? From like 35. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, It's interesting. I really believe a crash is coming, but I don't know if it'll definitely happen before the election. I feel pretty strongly it will. I would bet it would, but you just never know. You never know when these things will happen. The one, watch out for GTI. Finger's about to shock a lot of people. Finger is getting fancy. I mean, last couple of days it's been up again. Really turned things around. And on top of that, we still haven't gotten dividend news, which I think is going to come really soon. And all those calls came in, which was awesome. So Vanilla Ice was heavy into real estate? No way. That's awesome. Oh, Vanilla Ice. You know what song of Vanilla Ice's I love? It's not Ice Ice Baby, although that one's kind of fun. No, Ninja Rap, man. Ninja Rap from Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. That is my jam right there. Ninja Rap. Go, go, go. Go rock the town without being seen. Have you ever seen a ninja get down? Or a turtle get down? Yeah, there you go. He's the one who wanted to start way back then. That's awesome. Good for him, man. You got to use what you got. Use what you got. All right, reverse repo going way down. Why? Because they are just taking that money out. They're using that liquidity. They're trying to stay afloat. Banks are on the verge of collapse. Banks are struggling, so they're just dipping into their reserves as much as possible. And 2,300, which 2.3 trillion, to under 400 billion in just 1.5 years. That's nuts, guys. That's absolutely crazy. That's a decrease of what, 500%? It's crazy. Calls came in for Finger. 2 days ago, there was over 2,000 plus calls for Finger from Asia that came in. So I don't have all the data on them, but they were coming in. Ham talked about it yesterday. Wall Street's using the Hubba Bubba philosophy. Big bubbles, no chills. He had a reality show about it? No way. That's nuts. Yeah, liquidity is drying up crazy fast. And this is why, I mean, all the stocks are going to pop at some point because they need that liquidity to hold them down. They do. That's how they keep control of everything. By just throwing out nonstop money into shorting, into whatever. I mean, but it's all the leverage from the banks. So when the hedge funds run out of money, they go get leverage from the banks, and they just use that. And so there's always money pouring in and trading hands nonstop on Wall Street. But when the banks close up their money because they're running on empty, that's when Wall Street struggles. And we're coming. I don't know the expiration date, Gretchen. I'm sorry. I don't have that on me. I meant to call Ham, but I've been so busy. I haven't gotten to him. Reverse repo volume must be another deep fake. It's a cheap fake. Ham's working on a deal for Finger. China won't work with Apple and seems they may be looking at Finger. Interesting. I know that China doesn't like Apple. I did know that. So, all right. More poor economic data released today. Philly Fed miss. Jobless claims up. The only thing that beat expectations was prices paid. The economy slowing down. Prices remain stubbornly high. Stagflation. Even when Jerome Powell says there's no stagflation, he can't help it. That's not what we're seeing. So jobless claims going up, and it's not looking good. And this is just the trickle. It's starting to trickle in. We want it to blast out because then everybody becomes aware. Then we can really start seeing things. The way we've positioned ourselves really can take off. But it's a trickle right now until it really speeds up. What's up, Drew? What do I think will come first? Stock market crash or short squeeze on these stocks? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. A couple times it really looked like we were about to get a squeeze. I think GameStop was about to squeeze until the dilution. I really do. And then nothing. Finger was close to squeezing last year, and they were able to short attack its down and fight it off, but it almost broke out. I've seen several of these stocks be ready to break out, and one or two things happen. Either the hedge funds find just enough to beat us back by the skin of their teeth, or the CEO or management does something to kind of screw it over. So it's happened again. But the fact is that they've had chances to break out, all of them, and it could happen again. So that's why it's impossible to tell. What I think though is that, to me, the biggest chance of them going to have a short squeeze without any interruption, without anybody being able to mess it up, is a market crash. So I would say if we get to a market crash before they've squeezed, that's where I'm most confident we'll have them. But before that, one could always surprise us. So it's impossible to know. And I don't know enough about FFIE to feel confident about that one. AA screwed us and GTI management did. Yeah, the difference is with GTI management is that even though they did screw us in some ways, they have not short-circuited the short squeeze completely. They haven't, because the shorts are still trapped in that one, and it's been diluted maybe, I don't know, 100% versus AMC well over 1,000%. And the short numbers, because GTI had a small float to begin with, it just hasn't, that potential is still massively there. That's the big difference. That's why we want new management at GTII. I thought this was interesting after talking about NVIDIA last night, but I saw this today. The definition of a dream: stock rallies 2 to 3% every day just to make headlines. It stopped following fundamentals a long time ago. You know what happens when a stock stops following the fundamentals? Eventually it stops going up. We don't know when, but eventually it does. And I've just been saying this for a long time. NVIDIA just scares me. There's something about it I don't trust. I could be completely wrong. I'm open to it. I really am. I'm not a short, so I'm not going to try to short sell it or anything that's risky on that end, but I'm also not buying in. And maybe I lose out, but if I don't, but there's something about NVIDIA I don't trust. And this is another one of the reasons. There's just too many things that could go wrong, in my opinion. Drew, you wondered who actually does the rug pulling: hedge funds, government? Who do I think? I think it depends. I really do. I think they all have done it at other times. So the Fed rug pulled people in March in 2020. In 2008, nobody rug pulled. It just was broken. Same with 2000. They just didn't expect it. They got overconfident. But if you go on like some certain rug pulls here and there, a lot of times it's hedge funds. They will build up a stock, suck retail in, pull it out. They do it all the time. The government is a little bit less so. I mean, the government just wants things to be good pretty much all the time. They just do, because you're talking about politicians getting voted in, stuff like that. So usually what politicians do is they don't rug pull. So that would mean the Treasury as well, like Yellen. Usually the government doesn't rug pull. Usually what the government does is break stuff by over leveraging it or pushing it up too far or making the market do things it's not meant to do. Because markets are supposed to move in cycles. It's healthy for capitalism. But when they become too crony capitalist or lean into some socialist tendencies, that's when stuff breaks over time. And it's just because they want to avoid the hard time of the cycle. It's like if, it's like people who weightlift all the time and never do leg day. Eventually they just topple over. That's not completely true, but they do look weird. Kryptonian: NVIDIA has priced Tesla in the opposite direction. I say there's something wrong as well. Exactly. I think Tesla's actually a better company in a lot of ways. Not that the product's always the best. It is pretty good, but I don't believe in the whole EV thing over time. But there's no doubt that, Elon sold more stuff. Tesla's interesting because it used to be their darling. And so it got a lot of the speculation money like NVIDIA is. But now they've turned on him because he's done the free speech stuff. And he just keeps getting richer regardless, because he's very smart and knows what he's doing. But I just put my money on Elon. I just trust the dude to always come up with innovation and keep making stuff. So profits don't matter anymore is frequently echoed. Yeah. So .com bubble, Brian, when that happens, trouble's coming. Trouble's coming. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that right now. It's not as that profit part anyways. That's not as prevalent as it was in the .com bubble, but it's the same idea. It's just like when people say the stock market just goes up, mean, we are in a crazy bull market, guys. I mean, COVID had the little crash that was a blip, okay, for a lot of reasons. And then we had in 2022 a correction. We had a slight bear market for a little bit, but it was not a crash. And so other than that, you have to go back to 2008 but the thing is, it's not just that we need a crash. Like, we don't need a crash pretty much ever. A crash always comes from over leveraging. Okay. Bubbles. That's what crashes come from. So you don't have to have crashes in cycles. You really don't, but you do have to have corrections, which is like 10 to 20% pullbacks here and there. That's normal. Recessions are normal. The thing is, this stock market's had a couple, you can't go forever with the economy not having a recession is what I'm trying to say. And because of that, the bullishness on the economy, because it hasn't had a recession, because of government spending and low interest rates for so long, all that has just been propping up this economy to just survive, getting faker and faker as debt rises higher and higher. And because of all that, the stock market keeps rising more and more too, and it shouldn't be. But that's because everything's out of whack, not just the stock market. So eventually, because we created the biggest bubble ever, there has to be a crash. That's all there is to it. Yeah, Donald Sutherland, RIP. Great actor. Great actor. When you sell GameStop, you're buying 8,000 shares of Finger. I love it, the one. Yeah, Finger it's going to be a monster. It really is. This came out today. Small business outlook uncertainty is surging. This is why I'd be surprised if Kobisi doesn't see a correction in the markets anytime soon, because they are really on point with the economic downturn stuff. NIFB uncertainty index decreased by 9 points to 85 in May, highest reading since 2020 pandemic. That's crazy. You think about it. In the 2020 pandemic, unemployment soared because of lockdowns, and that was the last time we were this high with uncertainty. Over the last 40 years, such a spike in uncertainty was only seen twice. 2017, okay, so that's after Trump's elected, before he really got to fixing the economy. So there was probably a lot of uncertainty about Trump with the liberal business owners, and then 2020 because of COVID. So that was the only two times we've gotten this high. Not 2008, not 2009, not 2000, just these last 2 years in the last 40. That's wild. Business conditions outlook is its worst in 50 years. That's crazy. It's just, how can small business is the spine of our economy. If small business owners cannot thrive in our economy because conditions are the worst they've been in 50 years, that means we have a bad economy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot have a good economy when everything is situated at the top. You just cannot. It has to have a middle class. This kills the middle class. Small firms are a major part of the economy, reflecting 44% of U.S. GDP, employing 50% of American workforce. There you go. 50% of people work for small business, and it's the worst conditions for them in 50 years. It's just very telling. If their outlook is this grim, it does not bode well for the labor market, broader economy. And once unemployment starts crashing, guys, then the stock market will turn quickly. It really will. Because at some point, the Fed will cut. And when they cut, it'll be exciting at first, and then it'll go straight down. When a stock is undervalued and the market crashes, what happens to the stock? When a stock is undervalued, it depends why it's undervalued. If it's undervalued but it's not shorted down and there's no trap shorts, it's just out there and nobody's really paid attention to it yet, then it'll just go down with the rest of the market. People just sell. Some people might hold because they feel like they really have something, but it's not going to go up during the downturn. But if it's undervalued because it's short sold and those shorts are trapped, then it could break out. The update on GTII, I don't feel much about it yet, unless there's something I haven't heard. But I think they're just trying to keep shareholders happy because they're trying to give reasons for shareholders to find trust in them again. And I just don't think that's going to happen. Jack, all right. YouTube is on me. No notification. I'm buying commercial on my pre-show opening. That's awesome. That's hilarious. Wow. Well, it is what it is. Um, I might be shadow banned again. They probably don't like what I've been talking about lately. That's okay. As the election ramps up, that might happen more and more. I might just start, you know what? I need to start dual streaming on Rumble again. I might start that when I get back from my week away. So, which would be after this next week. So, yeah. I think I need to start getting on Rumble again. Do I know if GDC has been over $1 to be back in compliance with NASDAQ? That was over 10 trading days. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on that, David. Sorry. Laughing at you. No notification for you either. Really? Well, maybe the shadow band's back on. I did notice my my views are abnormally low for this time of day for me going live. Usually if I come on earlier, my views are higher, and there's not even 200 people in here. So it's very possible the shadow band's going on. I've been averaging about 300 to 400 a stream lately. So yeah, well. Okay, Finger, DJT, both of these stocks, short trigger number is dropping fast for sure. DJ has to be around 47. Finger will soon break 4, pressing their bets. Guys, you know how unreal it would be? Finger gets under 4 for the short squeeze trigger. I mean, we're not that far from there. It could turn around really quick. So I have so much hope for these stocks, and I don't think we're far off. I know I keep saying that. And it's all about perspective. When I say not far off, I mean a few weeks, a couple months. That's what I mean. I mean not years is what I mean. Okay? Some people hear me say soon. They think it's going to happen tomorrow, and they get upset at me when it doesn't happen. That is not what I mean. I mean, we've all been fighting here. It's been a long, hard battle. It's getting old. It's hard. All of that. But we all can see stuff's happening. Every day things are happening. Every day the economy's getting worse. Every day the political situation's getting worse. Every day the foreign situation's getting worse. Every day the stock market bubble grows. Every day stuff's happening. And it's only a matter of time till something breaks. And that's kind of what we're waiting for, whether it's just breaking in our stock or in the overall economy. So is the intro video one of those cheeky videos you keep hearing about? It might be. Crypto to crash, you can buy the dip. There you go. I don't know how far it'll dip, but it will at some point. What's up, Barbara? Ventures with Shogun. You got a notification, but my members aren't getting them? That's weird. The one, not in the attorney, about to kick everybody out of GTI. Like you said, case is really strong. I believe it. Not as smart, dude. Yeah. Linda didn't get notes yesterday, did today. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Make sure the notification bell's on, all that stuff. Please, yeah, if you guys don't mind, go a little out of your way to hit that like. If you like my stuff at all, I really appreciate it, because it's I'm somebody who makes content on stuff that's not popular with the people in charge of these channels, whether it's YouTube, Google, Facebook, whatever. I mean, and I want to be on YouTube because that's the ability to get the most reach, but it is what it is. And so, but yeah, if you guys hit the like, that'd be awesome. My tweet about tonight's lives, I used hashtag instead of money. Oh, did I on all of them? Oops. Oh, well. Love my shows. Thank you, Brenda. I love having you at my shows. Honey Badger. Speaking of shadow ban, let's help the algo talk about fake Biden plant they'll put in. We're going to get there. Don't worry. What's up, Jasper? Ace, the one knows it's not far off. Happy summer solstice. Oh, yeah. Today's the first day of summer. Happy summer solstice, guys. The equal night and day today. Pretty fun. All right. Dollar and gold rallying together. Small caps drop despite lower bond yields. Is anyone even noticing or care? You'll be forced to notice and care. I happen to agree. Maverick of Wall Street does really great videos, by the way, if you guys want to check out his stuff. He's great. He obviously doesn't need my help because he's 10 times bigger than me, but I don't care. But his stuff's great. His YouTube channel is great, and he goes through stuff really well. He's obviously got a background in Wall Street. And guys, these are the kind of things that are showcasing an upcoming downturn. This just is not supposed to happen. And so gold is supposed to rally as the dollar is weaker, and small caps should be rising. Okay. It's a reverse signal to us. So it's just at some point it has to happen. As far as I know, too, the what's it called? Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff that are at record levels right now, and still the market's not reflecting it. But how high do I think Finger DJT will go when they pop? Chris, it's impossible to tell, but the numbers are crazy. If the numbers we have are correct and comparing them to previous squeezes. But the problem is they probably won't squeeze like anything else. Every squeeze is kind of unique to itself. So all we can do is kind of guess which one it'll most look like. And we've been using Overstock for both of those. And then I also compared them both to GameStop 2021. Finger shows very strong. Finger, according to those numbers, could go anywhere from high 300s to 5,000. And DJT, the numbers are crazy. When I run the numbers on DJT, it comes out to 12,000 to 100-some thousand. I don't think it'll hit those numbers. Just being clear. All right, but if the math says it's possible, then I at least believe DJT could hit. Both of them should be able to hit 1,000 or so around there. But even if they don't, though, just remember that. Even if they don't, even if DJT tops out at 300, 350, and Finger tops out at 250, there's still you still can make a lot of money off those if you play them right, especially if you jump one into the other. Some board members might go to jail with GTI. Wow, is that what not saying? Interesting. What job do I do, Anthony? My day job is I'm a marketing director. Yeah. Knots on with William? Oh, maybe that's why I'm not getting all those views. People are watching that. So I get it. I get it. I didn't know William was still on. Man, that guy goes forever. He started at 2 o'clock. I can't do it. So Mantan, what's up? You had some good puts on NVIDIA today as well. Talk about yesterday. Nice. David, you went to buy a part for your rig the other day, and parts guy told me a mirror plant burned down. There's a back order for Morris a couple of months. All these manufacturers' plants are... Really? That's interesting. Plants are burning down. Why? That's so crazy. Alan Silver had a better day than gold. Okay. Short interest of Finger, we believe is around... So there's the official short interest, but then there's what they don't report, which is naked shorting, which is very hard to track. But we get some data from a couple places that have been watching Finger for 5 years, and they believe that the short number against Finger is around 230 million at a float of 40 million. So you can do the math there, but that's a very high. It's like 600, 700% almost. Not did say that about gel time. Wow. Yeah, William's on 7 hours. My God. You watch 2 times daily. Wow. A chicken farm burnout with 100 million. I know. It's crazy. They're going after the food supply too. Just wildness, guys. All right. U.S. banks currently facing unrealized losses of 517 billion. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Look at back to 2008. This was the crash, and look how little that is. 75 billion basically, or under 75 billion caused the great financial crisis in unrealized losses. And then you go here. This is what they call Volmageddon, where the economy held up, even though there was a huge issue with reverse repo and liquidity in the banks. And then we go up. This is the influx of cash, okay, from the government. And now look at this since 2022. Just asinine. And yet somehow things are okay. Okay. Awesome. Big banks could potentially lose 140 billion in commercial real estate crisis. That's why regulators want banks to hold more capital in reserve. While the largest U.S. banks, those with more than 50 billion in assets, will potentially face up to 140 billion in losses tied to commercial real estate and office loans in the next 9 quarters, it won't cripple them. It won't? You think so? When they're already so over-leveraged? I guess we'll see. But this is just how is this how is this sustainable? How is any of this sustainable? We know why plants are burned down. Yeah, we do. Chicken meat plants across the country have been burned down left and right. Yeah, no, I know. There's definitely some to that for sure. Chill with the crash talk. Listen, man, I'm not going to, because I look at the data and the data tells me that something's coming. So you don't have to watch. Thomas, radioactive is a mother father today. Check on the flip side. All right, buddy. So today did you go on the table today? Not is in the house. Speaking of not legal advice, here he is, guys. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for all the work you do, Not. We appreciate you. We were just talking about you, too. What's up, Frank? All right, let's keep moving. It's always different this time until it comes. We're already in recession. I couldn't agree with this more. Yearly change of full-time workers went negative in February. How crazy is that? Look at the dips here. I mean, it's just unreal. Full-time workers. That's 2020 that we peaked up, and now we're back under the line here, the trend line. It's just, how is everything okay? It's the economy is held on rotting toothpicks. I completely agree, Robert. Completely agree. It's eventually going to turn, and everybody who's not expecting it is going to get bit. And so all we can do is prepare ourselves, protect ourselves, make moves, and take advantage of what's going on in the moment. Absolutely, because you don't know when it'll come. But this data is just getting crazier and crazier by the day. Most new jobs went to illegals. I know, which is just so disgusting. But Gary Ball's in the house. What is up? All right, let's talk about this. This is fun. All right, so I heard this somewhere else today, and then this post came up. So this is why I got this post up, but this is not where I originally heard this. I was listening to podcasts where they were talking about this, and it's about the fourth or fifth time now I've heard this in the last week. So I'm starting to pay attention. But you know how I always tell you guys are like, Biden will get swapped out. And I keep telling you, who? Nobody. They don't have anybody who's popular enough to do it. Nobody. Biden still pulls the best against Trump out of everybody. He just does. And so what would be the next best strategy? Oh, swap out the vice president. Because then you replace Kamala, because nobody wants Kamala to be president. Place her with Clinton. And most people still don't want Clinton to be president, but at least they'll be like, the Democrats will be like, well, she's competent, I'm with her. And so that would make sense. And then if something happens to Biden on accident, he gets suicided or something, or falls off, the stairs the wrong way, all of a sudden Hillary gets to be their savior. That makes so much more sense than them replacing him at the convention. I'm just telling you right now. So that's where I think this could actually, this is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? This is the most likely scenario I can see for any swaps happening. Just telling you right now. Okay. This is what Grok says. Speculation growing among Democrats about replacing Kamala as vice president. Where's my dog barking at? Hopefully my son gets her. In hopes that Joe Biden will be reelected, step down, allowing Clinton to assume the presidency. This is, anyways, pretty wild. But I do think that this is the most likely scenario with a swap. It just makes more sense, because if they just outright swap him out with Newsom or, God forbid, Clinton, or anybody else, they're dealing with somebody who's less popular, and they're also dealing with somebody who's going to disenfranchise their voters because they already went through the primary process. So it's a lot easier if you do the VP pick, and then if something happens to Biden, he automatically, the next person is up. And then it makes it a whole lot easier to accomplish that swap. So no freaking way Trump picks Tulsi. I agree with that. He won't. There's no way. Now recession gonna be an empire collapse. I can see that. Johnny Lechner, did I talk about FTD GameStop stuff? Johnny, can you be more specific? Which FTD GameStop stuff? Are you talking about the T35 that everybody's talking about? Let me know, and I'll talk about it. See Tulsi pick for DNC? Nah, Tulsi's abandoned the Democrats, and they're not going back to her because she won't be controlled by them. They ran her out of the party. Tulsi's not going back. If anything, she'd run as an independent, but she's not going to, you know. I agree, Barbara. Can't pull crows, that's right. Kryptonian, we've both been telling people this for almost 4 years now. Honestly, thought it was going to happen last fall. May have been early, not wrong. Well, I mean, I don't know if I've been telling people this, but the truth is Hillary is the most power-hungry person in the Democrats. In the Clintons, it's in the Democratic Party, there's two families that run everything. Okay, it's the Clintons and it's the Obamas. Well, Barry can't run again. All right, even though he might be our president now, he really might be. And Michelle's not going to run. So the next person up is, let's figure out a way to get Hillary in there. And Hillary lives, sleeps, and breathes the desire to be the president. She is the most power-hungry, crazy person in America. And she's got to be stopped. I mean, it's terrible. Am I in NC? Yeah, I'm in NC. I don't know where Ranson Middle School is, but I'm in Concord. Infinity Money Glitch. That's okay, Johnny. I don't know about the money glitch. I know about the FTD failures, but I don't know if I know specifically which one you're talking about. So, deadly and the dead, healthy Hillary, not that. She's not, but she's still sharp. She can still talk. Jeff, regarding GDC, today was the 10th trading day, close above one, so they're in compliance. There you go. Ray, in podcast you're listening to, Kamal won't step aside for anybody but Clinton. Interesting. I heard that. So, Johnny, what I need to see what you're talking about, Johnny. Do you have a link to something? Because I want to know what specifically you're talking about. Brett, if they're going to swap out Kamal and add Hillary, does that mean it's going to be dumb and dumb, super dumb? Thelma Louise? Oh, that's funny. No, Vin, man, I'm not in Charlotte, so I'm not near that middle school. No. I'm at least 15 minutes from Charlotte. Corey, I didn't say, no, I poo-pooed them swapping out Biden at the convention. That's what everybody was always saying. But this is a new theory of how they'll do it through the VP. And that's different. That's different. And so this is the only way that makes sense to me. So when you brought it up before, you were talking about them just straight swapping them out. And I still hold to that. That's not going to happen. And I'm not even saying this will happen. But I am saying it's possible. And this is a one way I see them doing it. Michael can write. He's not going to, though. Did Hillary get taller? I don't watch any of that anymore. Yang Gang. Andrew Yang Gang? All right. Well, even Yang is anti-Biden at this point. He, as far as Democrats go, he's a smart one. GameStop, they're using locates to cover FTDs and XRT and GameStop endless cycle. Yeah. They've been daisy chaining stock shares in order to infinitely manipulate pressure stocks. Oh, yeah, Johnny. I mean, listen, this has been going on way more than just GameStop. The question is, and they've been caught several times. It's whether or not anybody ever does something about it. That's the question. And I just don't see that happening in our current administration with Gensler in charge. So I'm asking for YouTube to censor me. Yeah, I'm small fry. They won't come after me yet. But if they do, I have a Rumble channel set up. So Richard Newton helped break down the tricycle. I like Richard Newton. He's good. Yeah, it's listen, it's every day that stuff's being more and more uncovered, and it's great because at some point there will be a breaking point. But as far as GameStop's concerned, I've told you guys all along, like after this week, I was like, GameStop's going to be pushed off, and it will be. It doesn't mean I don't love GameStop. I think GameStop is still going to do amazing things, whether it's because of what Ryan Cohen does, or it's because they finally allow a squeeze to happen, or they're completely broken because of exposure. I don't know how, but it's going to take a while to get there, because all the momentum has been died out now. Retail's already in, okay, and those dilutions, those offerings, took it all out. So if Hillary was to get in as president, could Bill be VP? No, I don't believe so. I believe once you're, because you can't be VP, because then you could backdoor into being president again. So also, you can't have a family member be VP. DJT's getting crushed. It is. Yeah. Love to buy, afraid the machine's going to keep it down. They're going to try. Yeah. But remember, DJT is fighting back more than anybody right now, at least in a public way. And so for me, I feel like DJT is one of those that could turn around fast. It really could. Bloomberg just donated. Oh, well, that's not a surprise. Yeah. See, I don't know on this T35 thing, if there's anything to it. To me, I get really wary when dates are thrown out. I just do. I see it all the time. And in GameStop right now, this whole last thing that happened with Roy and Kitty, it was very exciting. It definitely had a run. And then it was all just, the top was taken off. And then it got exciting again. It had a little mini run, and then the top was taken off again. And they did that to us twice in a row. And for everybody who's saying, like, now there's another date to go to, I'm just like, really? I don't see it. It's not that I don't see GameStop breaking out at some point. Okay, I don't want to have to keep saying that, but I know there's going to be people like, oh man, don't talk about GameStop. I'm not talking about GameStop. I'm talking about timing. And I get very wary anytime I see anything that speaks to timing on a short squeeze stock. Cartoon Network has a new show next week. Gary Gensler's going to be in front of a committee. That's funny. Run president. Jeez, oh God. I could not run. The only way they could win is if they use illegal votes. They're going to try. I don't think it will work, though. Former president would be able to hold office of VP under 22nd Amendment, which allows the president to serve a total of 10 years. True, Corey, but I don't believe you can have a family member as vice president. Yeah, I agree with the dates thing. Dates are usually set up more to discourage people when they don't happen. So Trump doesn't have the capacity to come back to the White House. What are you talking about? You see who's in there now? Trump's sharp as he's ever been. Are other countries banning shorting stock? Yeah, they are. South Korea for one. I think India did. China. I can't remember. There's a couple of smaller ones too. Bangladesh? No, that is India, right? Or is that a separate country? I can never remember. But yeah, there's been several countries banned short selling in the last few months. Yeah, exactly, Corey. As soon as my GameStop stock reaches the price of DJT, sell the GameStop, purchase DJT. There you go. GameStop, a lot of calls. And I know, but we just saw a ton of calls in GameStop amount to pretty much nothing. So that doesn't mean anything to me. So much can happen that time. What about Finger, Ralph? Brad, the scale is tipped so far in Trump's favor. I don't see how they'd be able to cheat this time. Oh, I agree with you. I was just going through the spent some time today actually going through all the swing states and their election law changes, and it's significant. There's so many laws that change that are going to make it harder to cheat. On top of that, you actually have an RNC now run by Laura Trump, who's building that army of poll watchers and lawyers. So they're going to be watching everything. They're going to be on top of it, much more engaged to slow things down on that end. And then you have the fact that Trump's more popular than he's ever been. I mean, the polls, guys, last election at this time, okay, Biden was ahead by 9.5 points on average. 9.5 points. Right now, Trump's ahead like half a point to a full point, depending on where you look. But that's a full 10-point swing. A 10-point swing is 16 to 17 million votes swung. So if you took the exact numbers of last time, Biden at 81 million, Trump at 75, and you swung that 17 million, that brings Biden all the way down to 64 million, and it puts Trump up to 92 million. That's winning the popular vote by 25 million. That's what the polls are showing right now. And that's crazy. And also, both the last two elections, Trump underperformed in the polls by 2 to 3 points each election. So the odds are Trump's being underperformed again. And his popularity is higher. I just don't, like, if they have an election this year, if they don't find some way to get out of it because of World War III or a pandemic or something they try, if there's any election, Trump's going to win. There's just no way. There's no way. So he can't lose this time if there's an election. There's too much in his favor. So they're going to either have to kill him or pull Ukraine and never have an election again, which good luck in the United States. You have a people, an electorate with more guns than the rest of the world combined, just with the people. You have 60 to 65% of the country can't stand who's in charge now. You really think they'd put up with there not being an election? I just don't think it. What's going on with the DJT warrant? I don't know. I'm still watching that closely. I don't completely. I mean, it went live today. So there was some dilution because of it. But again, it's so small. I don't think it's going to hurt it long term. GameStop folks are vigilant, man. They are. I agree. Not a Trump fan at all, says best of the rest, but the Dems are doing nothing to secure my vote. If anything, they seem to think I'm going to vote for them. I'm going to be begrudgingly voting for Trump because, and then nothing else. But let me see I want to see what else you're saying. Frank, backtesting fails to delivers and how it affects price action 34 trading days later. Tool of understanding. No, I get it, Frank. I get the tools part. The problem is a lot of people are, saying that GameStop is basically going to run in 35 days because of this, or that's the date. That's what Roaring Kitty knew all along. And that's the thing I don't like is this whole, like, Kitty's a smart dude, but he's not God, and people act like he just can't do anything wrong. And that's always a big red flag. Worry about automatic voter registration via motor vehicles? Yeah, but I still, just telling you with the numbers where they're at, it's going to be very difficult for them. Do you realize how many states put in voter ID since the last election? Many states. Many of the swing states did. And voter ID right there makes things much, much harder to cheat. I'm not underestimating the Dems, Raiden. I'm just saying I'm pointing out how big. Listen, okay, so let me put it this way. I'm not underestimating them or what they're willing to try, but I also know that there are things that are insurmountable, okay? Look at what happened in a lot of other countries, okay? You think we're only corrupt in the U.S., and yet all these other countries are starting to get great leaders put in because of the people revolting. And it's happening in elections, whether it's Argentina or El Salvador or France. All these changes are happening because it's just so overwhelming. And in America, even though we have a lot of issues, if the people rise up, there's nothing can stop us from getting our country back. I know Biden's trying to get mass amnesty. I know. But that'll be held up in the Supreme Court. Dems refuse to put in work to earn a vote. I don't know, best of the rest. I disagree with that. I mean, they're putting in work. They're just not, they don't care about people who actually make money. They want to reward, they want to reward the freeloaders. They want to reward the race baiters and the identity politics people. They want to reward the people who are leftists who went to college and, you know, by paying off their student loans, even when most of them are already doing better than blue collar workers, that's what they're doing. So they're working hard to get votes. They're just not working hard to get yours. They're not working hard to get regular people's votes. Let me put it that way. They're hardworking people. Homeless defense secretary. I like that. Trump runs with Kitty as his VP. Oh my God. Yeah, there you go. There are more illegals than they're telling us. Oh, 100%. There's got to be more. Is there only 22 likes? I'm unliked now. I'm losing it. People are turning on me. I warned you guys at the election I was going to have to talk more politics, but there are more. No, I see 111 likes. You got to refresh your. There's got to be. You got to refresh the page, man. Dems are screwing themselves. Well, they are and they're not. I don't think they're so much screwing themselves, although, I mean, yes, they are, but I think they're just finally showing us who they really are. They just don't have the option of hiding anymore because they're running out of time because people are waking up too fast. Do I remember when I had 25 to 50? Oh, yeah. I remember the early days. Larry Elder and Marco Rappaport? No. Is that newer? The Hunter Biden pack. Speaking of Dems not helping themselves, I saw this story today. It's crazy. So the salary of a family of 4 needs to get by in every U.S. state more than 150,000 most expensive one. And so this is just what they estimate getting by. Now, obviously, you know, this is their interpretation of what it takes to get by. But I mean, some of these are crazy. I mean, look at this. Even Alabama, they estimate with a family of 4, you need to bring in 97 grand a year now. Guys, I remember when 100 grand a year meant you were killing it. It meant you were doing great. You had a nice house. You had nice cars. You had, you took vacations. You had money saved for your retirement. 100,000 used to be the dream for a lot of people. I mean, other people obviously have bigger dreams, obviously. But if you're talking salary, 100,000 used to be the point. It was like, if I could just get to 100,000, I'll be set because then I can do this, this, and this and still live a life I want and not have to really go after it as an entrepreneur if that's not my thing. That used to be the dream. And look at this. Now you can't. I mean, these are cheaper states. Alabama, let's see. Those are expensive states. Florida, 104,000. Georgia, 106,000. Idaho, 106,000. That's just nuts. Indiana, 103,000. These are supposed to be states where you could get by on 60 grand a year, it used to be, and still live decently. It's nuts, guys. It's getting crazy. This is not sustainable. This is this is their dream, by the way. This is what the Democrats have always wanted. Because this gives them more excuses. And this is why I think they might. This is my state right here. 104 grand, 105 grand, basically, round up. It's crazy. And I have a family of 8. I got 6 kids. So it's tough right now. So anyways, what I was going to say is that this is what they want. And this is why I think they might be okay with the economy crashing before the election, because a crashed economy, when it's already been tough, means they can try to buy some votes with maybe a UBI, maybe a big old stimulus check. They bump up a bunch of programs again, and because in times of disaster, that's when Congress gets even more likely to pass crazy stuff. And so that might be why they're okay if the economy crashes before the election and might just try to steal it that way. In North Dakota, 101,000. It's nuts, guys. It's nuts. Any Democrats out there that would actually work across the aisle, they kicked them all out. So there were Democrats that would work across the aisle. The good ones were like Robert Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard. There were good ones, and they kicked them all out. Manchin, he just went independent. So yeah, they are weeding out their own ranks to make sure it's only the crazies there. All right, I'll have to go watch that Michael Rappaport thing. T35 with the likes now. I can't call William. I'm running out of time. But I do love talking to William. I need to get some guests on here soon. I've been riding solo too long. I've been on a long stretch without guests. I need to get back to having some guests. As James Wood said, congratulations, your school janitor is paying your ceiling. I know, right? Thank God you're inheriting. There you go. Laughing at you said, I thought it was pouring down. No, for sure, right? Number for Louisiana. Let me go up to it. Louisiana is one of the cheapest states. 95,000 we'll round up. But still, that's crazy. I mean, guys, that used to be a great salary. If you made 95 grand, you're still, I think the average income in America for like a professional is still like 70,000. Let's look. Average income 2024. Yeah, that's not real. Okay, that's median weekly. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So the average in America, it says 86,000 is Massachusetts, which is 27,000 above the national average. So that means the average salary in America is 59,000. Average salary in America is 59,000, yet you need, in a poor state, you need to make 95,000 to get by with kids. That's crazy. Halfway to disciple group. You're killing me, Shogun. Any good Dems are Russian agents? And I go, UBI more stimulus money, certain death for a dog. Oh, 100%. Well, yeah. Butters, yeah, it's tough, man. I know. Crazy. Corey, October crash would give the government the ability to potentially postpone federal election due to economic emergency. You know, I don't think that an economic emergency they could get away with. It's going to have to be war or pandemic for them to convince the American people to do it. So, because I'm pretty sure now the election, I think the election date is set in the Constitution. I think I'm right about this. Oh, I should put in date. Okay, so U.S. Code. So maybe it's not Constitution. But they'd still have to suspend one of the oldest laws on the books. So, I mean, that takes, in order to pull that off, the president basically has to be granted wartime powers. And that's what's going to have to happen. And you don't get wartime powers in economic emergency. You just don't. Croteau, what about GTII? Listen, GTII has been announcing a bunch of stuff lately. All of it, like the canceling of the shares they were issuing and the re-audit they're doing right now. It's all just stuff that it's too little too late. It's nothing to get excited about, in my opinion, right now. It's them trying to earn trust back with the shareholders because they broke it so bad. And I think it's just too little too late. We need to see them go. And the lawsuit's coming together from what I hear. And hopefully we get some movement on that soon. And that's where I think we're going. So look at this, guys. This is about, by the way, about the short selling going on. Number of short selling hedge funds has been shrinking amid miserable performance. They're getting crushed. Okay, they've been getting crushed by this. And it's because everybody is holding. That's what it's coming down to. Everybody, like retail has come in and ruined a lot of their short squeeze opportunities. And then on top of that, you have the dummies who tried to short these big stocks where everybody's piling their money into, like NVIDIA and stuff. But, you know, it's just a matter of time. Now, what will happen is the smart ones that aren't trapped, they'll make a ton of money in a crash and they'll be stoked about it. But the guys that are trapped, that have just been bleeding money, they're going to lose a bunch more because of the short squeezes because they're stuck. So it's all fake news, says Bob, right? So much of it is. That is definitely true. What is this here? Oh yeah, look at this. My loan officer was laid off yesterday in the middle of finalizing my mortgage. Housing crisis, guys. That's crazy. It's like getting the mortgage done and get the call. Oh, you're done. You can't finish that. You can't. This is nuts, guys. This is nuts. A lot of retail is looking at their investment as money spent, and they don't like that. I'm correct. Oh, okay, crypto. I think I know what you're saying. A lot of retail is looking at their investments as money spent. They don't like that. I'm correct. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Ukraine already skipped election in April, war. So no, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? America's never skipped an election, a presidential election. And so Americans, like, Ukraine's always been corrupt and the people have always been oppressed. So we see that and we're like, oh, wow, elections, being denied in a country, that's a crazy big deal. And it kind of is. But they're also used to it. Ukrainians are probably just like, here we go again. This is our life. We have no freedom here. We're corrupt government. Americans are very different. Americans are going to look at a push election and we're going to be like, okay, you better have a good idea for this. And part of the problem is Americans are still fed up over COVID. They're pissed off about it still. And that's, I guarantee 65% of Americans at least are still pissed off about COVID and are still looking at the government distrustfully. And because of that, if they pull this so close to after COVID, they haven't spent time rebuilding trust. Okay. If this was 20 years after COVID, 40 years after COVID, 50 years after COVID, it's a lot easier to get away with stuff like this, but it's too close. They already broke our trust not that long ago, and we haven't forgotten. It's still fresh. And so to push an election off, it's going to have to be a very good reason for them to even have a chance to get away with it. When management's out, who picks the next one? I don't know. That's a great question. It probably would be, if management gets pushed out, there's probably a board of directors that appoints new management, which I don't know how that would go. Or if everybody's pushed out, including the board, then they might just have a sale. Somebody buys it in. Somebody buys in, and then that person now runs it. I don't know how it works. Can Kamala appoint a VP? No. That's officially, it's the job of the party to pick the VP. It's tradition that the Republican and Democratic candidate picks their VP. That's tradition. But the truth is that the party is the VP is supposed to be voted on like the president. That's the Constitution. But what they did is, with tradition, they started putting them together. But that's why the VP's name is on the ballot, because you're voting for the president and the VP. That's our Constitution. You have to. But what they've done is they've combined them because of a tradition. So, but the VP does not get to just pick a successor. No, that is not how it works. Anything on the table with them. Anything, I'll say this. Anything's on the table for them to try. It doesn't mean they'll pull it off. Yeah, even in the Civil War, there was election. Absolutely, Alan. See, so that's what I mean. You have to have a crazy good reason. A crazy good reason. We were in World War II in 1944. They didn't postpone the election in World War II. They didn't postpone the election in the Civil War, which was, for us on our homeland, way crazier. It's just never happened. So that's why I'm just telling you, I don't see it happening, but it doesn't mean they won't try. But this is what I think everybody is missing here. Okay. This is what I think keeps getting missed. It's not that they don't want to do these things. Okay. It's not, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. Even though they want to do these things, We've got to get past this point where we start thinking that they're capable of doing whatever they want. They're not. They still are held in check by some stuff. And one of those checks is the people. Guys, if they could get away with whatever they wanted, they never would have let Trump win in 2016. If they could get away with whatever they wanted, Javier Milei would not be president of Argentina right now. If they could get away with whatever they wanted, there wouldn't be people in Europe, a red wave election sweeping across Europe right now. They can't control everything. They're not as powerful as you think they are. They're not as powerful as people give them credit for. Are they powerful? Yes. Are they crazy? Yes. Are they willing to do horrible things to stay in power? Yes. But are they capable? And the answer is no, if the people push back. They're just not. And there comes a point with these people where they will push and push and push, and they'll come to a point where they say, we got to live to fight another day. And then they'll try other things, okay? Because if they get too blatant, they know they'll lose what little support they still have. Because they do have some very entrenched support, and they still have the support of people not paying attention. That's how Biden's approval is still 38% instead of 18%. Because there's still a lot of people who aren't paying attention, who are wealthy, or they're on the government's dole, and so they're not being affected by the economy as much. And they're just like, life's fine. You know, what's on Netflix tonight? So there's those people. And then there's the other people highly involved in getting them their power. And so that's how he keeps an approval up. Even if it's rigged, the approval numbers, let's say it's 8% lower, but there's still that percentage of people who just will vote Democrat no matter what. But there is a breaking point even for a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And when you actually do something so egregious that they can't ignore, I mean, one thing you've got to give the Democrats credit for is they plan long term. They've been building this for decades. And now they're at a breaking point where things could really seriously change forever. If Trump comes back in and really does the things he's going to say, it could break them forever, because where the internet is right now and Bitcoin, all the stuff happening right now, it's going to be much harder to do everything in the shadows like they did for years and built it all up. That becomes almost impossible to do again. And it's not just Democrats. It's a deep state. It's both sides. But the Republican Party actually has some hope in it, because there's people who, are really trying to change things in the Republican Party. And we've kind of taken over the Republican Party. That's the difference. Whereas the Democrats are completely lost. So this isn't Republican versus Democrat. It's really like people who want America to be America and people who want it to turn it into a dystopian, socialist, communist country. And so that's the two sides here. And they've had very great patience building things up, and they know things are about, but at the same time, as long as they think there's a chance, they will just keep trying to come in new ways. And so they might let Trump win, and then they try to subvert him in other ways, because they just saw it was like, if we do this, we lose anyways. So that's the kind of thing we got to think about, Right, Soljo? Power's only given to the people, give it to them. Take the people away, they have no power. 100%, Alan, 100%. Ray, in Mexico, unalived like 36 candidates before the lady won. What deal did she make? I know, she's Hilaria Clinton. That's great. Hilaria, I love it. Does a conservator appointed board? They might, yeah. I haven't been down this road before, so. How do we clean up our schools and universities? It's going to take time. Universities, you defund, and you kill the public education system for the public schools. You kill it from the federal level, and you make all schools more locally run. And that's the best bet you got. Butters, I see Devin Nunes' letter today to Congress about market makers reneging on options commitments. No, I did not. So Nunes put out another letter? I didn't see it from today. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a new letter from him. I'll have to go look for that later. When voting for president, you're actually voting for presidential electors. That is true. That's absolutely true. Most state electors from a party that wins the most votes for president. Exactly true. Electors vote. That is very true, Texas. Yes. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, you're absolutely right. But there's quite a few closely going to vote for Trump too, just because they don't want to be on the losing side. Yeah, 100%. There are more people going to vote for Trump than say so. Because for one thing, for a while, I mean, it's starting to change, but for a long time, his name was so toxic. A lot of people didn't want to admit they're voting for him, and they will at the ballot box. I believe I neglect to look in the Uniparty is so powerful they got 16 years out of getting Bush and Obama into office and 4 years of Biden. That's power. Well, Corey, you're right, but they were also running against other Uniparty people. So there was no movement to oust these people because the people weren't awake yet. All right. That's just the fact. So were they powerful? Yes, but they were also powerful because they were hiding in shadows. Okay. We never used to think of a uniparty. Like there were very few people who were awake to that. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 people kind of were awake to it. Okay. Now it's like 60 out of 100 people are starting to wake up to it. And I'd say 40% are pretty awake and 25% are really awake and 60% are kind of awake. That's a big difference from 1 out of 1,000 back in 2000, 2004, all that. We just didn't know. We thought it really was Republican versus Democrat and all that. So you're missing that factor when you say that. Okay. We didn't know what was really going on back then. And now things have changed. And that's why they're losing their power. They're less powerful now than they were back then, Corey. Good night, Vin. What's up, Wes? Kevin, proof Biden's unfit to be president. Remember when KJP always used to say Joe can do 2 things at once? Now Joe's taking 8 days off to prepare for the day. I know, it's crazy. Vote for Pedro. Napoleon Dynamite's 20 years old this summer. Oh my God, that makes me feel so old. I saw that movie in college. Lone Star, you were an elector in 2000? That's awesome. Tea Party started to wake up Americans. It woke them up to the corruption of the spending. It didn't wake them up to the corruption of the darkness of it. That's not. Hawk Tua girl proof? I don't know what Hawk Tua is. I didn't see that. That's interesting. There's always stuff I miss too, guys. I mean, I see a lot, but if Marion Barry can smoke crack and off, still have a job, anything's possible. Anything is possible. I love it. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to start phasing out here. Martin Armstrong, USA Watchdog, says Biden has 8%. Like approval or people voting for him? ZJYL to me is still a play as long as the people who want to run it up are still in it. But I personally, I'm not looking to ZJYL until other stuff starts moving. So, yeah, the tariff thing will be awesome if that happens. Oh, sorry, Butters. They don't let you share links on here. I forgot about that. You can hit me up on Twitter, though. All right. But, yeah, I think you're kind of right about that, Eric. I do. I think the real waking up started happening when Trump was running. And they started pulling the Russia stuff and everything. And we're like, what? Why are they not fighting fair in this election? We always thought politics was dirty, but we didn't know it was that dirty. And that's when I was kind of like, what is going on here? Why do they hate this guy so much? They used to love him. And that got a lot of people wondering about stuff. Did I even see Joy Behar say she's afraid of Trump because President sick the IRS on her? They're all afraid. It's funny. It's all the people like, yeah, anyways, it's just, all the people that should be afraid are afraid. And it's funny who comes out about it. It's basically them admitting to being corrupt, right? You got rid of Ben Nelson, Nebraska. Yeah, the Tea Party did do good stuff. It really did. Unfortunately, it got in with Paul Ryan and those types, and they co-opted it and kind of ruined the momentum of the Tea Party. But good news is years later, I thank God sometimes that we didn't get Mitt Romney, even though I voted for him and I was like so afraid of 4 more years of Obama. But you say like this is, I believe in God. And sometimes I look and I'm like, oh my God, how much worse would it have been if we got McCain in or Romney? Because then we never would have gotten Trump. and we never would have woken up, and things would still be marching along in this uniparty system. So do I think DJT will go back up? Yes, I do. I don't think it's even a question. It's just a matter of when to me. Nunez is fighting so hard on that front with DJT, and they have an crazy, I mean, guys, remember, DJT has the potential to be a baseline stock for every single MAGA person who gets in the stock market. I mean, almost everybody who's in the stock market is MAGA is probably going to sprinkle at least a little bit in DJT. You're talking about, you know, we say GameStop has a lot of people, and it's huge. It's like 3 to 5 million people on GameStop, maybe more. But when you're talking about MAGA is way bigger than GameStop. You could get, you know, the more DJT picks up, more people pay attention, you can get 10 million people buying in. So yeah, I don't think DJT is even close to being done. Do I think they'll allow squeezes to help boost the economy? No, they won't allow them to boost the economy. They might just allow them because the economy is breaking and they can't control them anymore. Every once in a while, they might allow one to have pressure go off, some in the market, but I don't think they'd allow them for boosting the economy. No. Cannonball Run 45th anniversary. Wow. Tea Party died from political persecution by the Obama administration, but it also died, Eric, because there's a lot of Republicans who were not supporting it. The main Republicans in power. The Tea Party was never that big. It felt like it was, but when you have people like Paul Ryan being the leader, and we know Paul Ryan's corrupt as hell now, you know that there's some subversion going on there too. That's really a lot of what crushed it too. So, but you know, at least it did get some stuff done, and they were the beginning of something for sure. But you know, you could say the same thing about in the 90s with Newt Gingrich. When he brought in that really conservative House, they took back the House for the first time in 40 years, I think it was, and they had the contract with America, and they got all that stuff done in the first 100 days. It completely changed Clinton's presidency. I mean, you know, it happens. Should we all join True Social Boost or Business Stats for advertising? I mean, you could. It's one thing. I'm already on there, so. But anyways, so guys, I will be on. I might come on tomorrow, because I don't know what next week's going to look like. I know the one day I'm going to really fight to be on is Thursday because of the, I want to live stream the debate. So I'm planning on that. Planning on live streaming the debate. It's going to be super fun. So I'm going to be at the beach. I'm going to have some beers, maybe a margarita or two. And we're going to live stream the debate and hopefully have a lot of laughs as we go through and watch Biden fumble around. So that should be fun. But other than that, I'll probably come on tomorrow. I'll definitely be on over the weekend. Next week will probably be slow as I'll be out of town. And my first vacation in a long time. I'm so excited. But, you know, I'll still be around because this is not work for me. This is fun. Will I be tan or burn crispy? I'll be tan. I don't burn very easily. I usually burn slightly in the beginning of the summer, and then I'm tan the rest of the year. I've already been out of my pool a lot, so I've already got a tan going to protect me. But don't go, Jesus. That's funny. Oh yeah, Corey, I know. Pence and Ryan, absolutely. I remember that deal they struck. But anyways, guys, Patreon people, class will be Saturday. I think I'm going to do both classes on Saturday because I'll be traveling on Monday. So that'll be the financial class and the spiritual growth class. If you guys are interested in that, this economy, I am teaching right now on how to build business with AI so you can make side money pretty easily. Okay. That's going to be this next class. I'm actually going to start from the ground up and show you guys how to build a business very quickly with AI online and in something you can run in your side time and make some side money. So very amazing stuff. And the people in the class will tell you. And on top of that, what was that? Chose me to play Jesus. I was the only one brave enough to wear something that resembles a diaper while. Thank God they never made me wear something like that. I did it. I got away from that. But that's funny. No, man, I used to be thin and I still had a beard and I had long hair. It was fun. Yeah, I lived it up. I grew my hair out once pretty long to play Jesus. It was awesome. Anyways. Oh, and Members Live. There'll be a Members Live this weekend too. So Members Lives, if you're new, those are for the members. It's $3 a month just to get extra content on the weekends. And those lives can go wherever because it's a private setting more with just people behind closed doors. It's more relaxed, more fun, and stuff, you never know where it goes. So, Brett, still trying to figure out how they're going to get Joe Biden to focus for more than 3 minutes, right? This is a drug cocktail, man. How do you get into my class? There's 2 ways, Big B, 2 ways. So you can either join on YouTube for $29.99, and that gets you all of the YouTube membership benefits plus the Patreon benefits. Or you can go to my Patreon, which I'll type in right now. And you can sign up for a free trial, okay, on the Patreon. Sign up for a free trial. It lasts for a week, and then you can decide if you want to stay or not. And at the Patreon, you can choose whether to just do one class or both classes. And so there's different tiers. And it's $10 a month for just one class. And that's a class every week. So you get 4 classes for $10 a month. Or it's $20 a month for all the classes I do, and you'll get 8 classes a month. So yeah, we'll talk about aliens. Yeah. I'm talking about my mosh pit days. I only had 2 of those. They were too painful, and I quit. I played Santa Claus on top of it. I've never played Santa, I don't think. I can't remember any time doing Santa. So talked about aliens on members. We get wild in the members chats. It gets fun. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you. I do think I might be on tomorrow night, but I'm not sure yet. So if I am on, it'll probably be late since it's Friday. But God bless you guys. Have a great night. Yeah, let me just close in a prayer as usual, because God knows we all need it, and so does our country. So, Father God, thank you for today. Bless everybody here, Lord. Give us wisdom going forward with all the craziness going on in the world. And we just pray, God, you help us get back our country, get our markets to be fair, and just get to a place where everybody can make a living again, Lord, take care of their family, and not have to do so living on debt. I think that's a great goal for everybody here. So bless us all, and let this downturn, whatever's coming, God, in the next few months, few years, whatever we have to go through to get to the other side, God, I just pray that we all can make the most of it. And since by being aware, make the kind of moves that actually set us up for the future. In Jesus' name, bless everybody.